Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Macro Crest, where we focus on fundamentals for our direction and then technicals for our entry, which last week it was a bloodbath when we actually expected the dollar strength with the CPI that came in very hot. Although some analysts are saying there are components blah 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 that's making the CPI not worth it to be very hot. In actual sense, the market has been looking for a way to price in dollar weakness, and Trump made that happen last week because we already knew that he has been looking for ways to make dollar weak. Okay, so right now last week what he did was, after the CPI, he brought up the topic that there's a negotiation between himself and Putin, trying to have this peace talk regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. And in such instances, it's that is a risk on environment. So everybody's now leaving the dollar to actually look at what's going on, and that's what caused the dollar weakness. And so for that reason, we'll be looking at dollar weakness. And this week we have just very few things. On Monday we have the FOMC members giving speeches, and then the cash rate for Aussie, the labor data for pound, the CPI for CAD, the wage price index for Aussie, the cash flow now, the inflation data for the pound, and then on Thursday I think we have Trump giving speech one of those days, or probably have passed it. We have retail sales, and then we have the PMIs all through for the Euro area on Friday, with the cutout of the card. So now what we're looking at in the market is we're looking at dollar weakness for now. And if we look at our chart, let's look at our chart a little bit. Regarding the Dixie, on the weekly time frame, what we do have is this is a high, this is a high, this is a low, and then we have a high. So this is an extreme point. And the market has been looking for ways to price in dollar weakness that they've been looking out for, and they haven't seen any until Trump gave them a reason to last week. So what I'm expecting is a continuation down to this demand. If you remember, this demand, it was a demand that we expected from this area to mitigate, but it didn't. So what I'm looking out for is this to be a liquidity. This is a liquidity grab. Then from here probably we could see dollar moving again to the upside, but Trump's view of it is that dollar has to be weak so that investors could come in. Previous week candle is a very massive bullish momentum candle. Looking at it from the 4 hours, I have a supply here, but then looking at it from a daily time frame, you see that the supply there is an imbalance in the supply, so there is a supply here on the daily. So what would we do? We'll be looking out for these points to be some form of liquidity area. So probably on Monday or any of the days, we could see price grab liquidity and drop, or it reacts all the way from this edge for supply. And that's for that. And for the yen, I'm still bullish on the yen. I'm bearish on NZD and the Aussie because I want to cut the interest rates. But now it's not just about cutting interest rate. The most important thing for the short term is the speech given, the statement given. So for that reason, the NZD will be cutting by 50, and the market is anticipating a 50 basis point cut, and then the Aussie is 25. From those two, the weakest would be the NZD, and then I'll be looking at my NZD yen because that's the one that's quite interesting for me. This is a lower low, this is a lower high. So if this is a lower low, I'm expecting a lower high, and the market will react from this. There's imbalance here, so that is why I'm looking out for the market to come over there, and then we could continue our short. The pound NZD looks like one that could make a whole lot of sense. This looks like a liquidity area, so Probably we will do this. Why? Because this is a higher high, this is a higher low, this is a higher high, and then potentially this could be a higher low, and this is what we'll be looking out for. And that's for NZD. For the USD weakness, looking at the USD squeeze. Now I was anticipating this guy to continue to the upside. No, it didn't. Look at this. The market is in the range, bounced off this. Now it has bounced off with this. If we look at this, this is like support resistance area, which is also the same thing that is happening here. And also we have a little one somewhere here. Yeah, so for that reason we'll be expecting the Dixie weakness, edge for supply down. Alright, we do have our supply here. There's a supply here, but you could cover this entire space because there's a supply there. Depends on your entry criteria. So that's what I'm looking out for. That's the zone I would like price to head for, and if it goes higher, then we could short from here. Looking at GU, what we anticipated. This is higher high or higher low or higher high. Market is reacting from this demand, this particular demand here. So looking at it from a daily standpoint, what we do have is a very beautiful structure. So we anticipated that it will continue to the downside last week, but no, it didn't. So we did not take this. We focus on euro. Looking at this from a technical standpoint, we have a very beautiful demand here, and our target is all the way up this year, at least that area, depending on your criteria for entry. Because if you want to modify, there's nothing here. So if the market gets all the way here, lucky you. We have the Aussie N2. There's a supply up here. There's a supply here, but if the market could do that, because this might be liquidity. Also, looking at this other end, this is a supply. Can't rule out that particular fact. This is a supply. This is a supply area, and I'm anticipating the market to react from this, so we could short from here, or it would go higher for that point. And that's what we do have for the week. Please do have a safe trading week. Be careful. Trump is always coming up with new speeches. Trade safe.